Hey everyone, this is Maran on this week's Crystal Mission Quest, and the stage here is from Pain's Intersecting Wheels, and it is actually quite a pain, no pun intended, if you don't use Pain, because not many characters can hit Force Weakness on this stage, and the bosses do have triggered attacks that require you to either have no debuffs on your party or having the enemy having no buffs. There are other characters that can deal with some of the mechanics on this stage, particularly characters like Quina, who can bypass the huge HP damage resistance that they get at above 80% force gauge. But I wanted to level my white crystal passives because my next goal is to get the white crystal U2 passive, and this stage is pretty challenging if you are using white crystals because not many characters can actually deal with the stage mechanics. But on the other hand, I didn't really want to reroll. I know you can still get a free reroll, but I like the challenge. So it took me quite a couple of reruns and adjustments, but I realized halfway that Sarah can dispel enemy buffs by her wound plus attack. So that actually is an important part of this strategy, because if you can dispel the enemy buffs later on in the stage, you prevent them from healing 20% of their max HP. To round off the party, I have Penelo as the Force Gauge Charger and Aurabot support, plus I'm also using Penelo's Force Time as the main force, since her Force Time is pretty general. Twins round up the party, mainly as a secondary DPS, because the goal is to bring the enemy's HP to a certain percentage before I enter Sarah's PT mode. And finally, Sarah herself is actually the main DPS on this stage. I wanted to use her as the main DPS because I am currently leveling my bow ultimate weapon, and Sarah is using a 405 ultimate weapon. As you can see here, what I did at the start is essentially have Sarah and Twins enter BT plus and call ability. Penelo charges the Force Gauge by S1 and S2, but this is very important. When the enemies hit 60% force gauge, you want to stop charging the force gauge and go into Lunar Freya LD call, and then go LD and then BT plus and then pop Choco summon. The LD used from Penelo should charge the rest of the summon gauge, allowing you to pop summon. If all done correctly, you should be popping summon before the bosses hit 80% force gauge. This is an important threshold because when they hit 80% force gauge, they also gain a massive 150% HP damage resistance, which obviously neuters quite a lot of your damage potential. Popping summon obviously freezes the enemy's force gauge, and as you can see, allow Penelo to finish charging your force gauge and enter force time by the end of summon mode, which is quite key, meaning that you can do the rest of the fight without that pesky HP damage resistance from the bosses. Importantly here, use one S2 from Penelo. You want to be in the Region Vault stance, but also importantly, you want to actually use that one move to charge the force gauge. It does make a difference because it allows Twins and Sarah to do their damage at a significantly higher force gauge bonus. Twins get 2 consecutive turns here because of the Lunar Freya Quick Prayer. So the action that you want to take with Twins is LD, followed by 2 Echoes, followed by LD. Finally, on Serra's turn, she also gets 2 consecutive turns because of the Quick Prayer, so you want to fit in one of her echoes here and then immediately go into PT mode. The sequence of attacks that I use with Serra in this PT mode is a little bit different than the conventional one. The idea here is that you want to use Wound Plus twice later in the fight to dispel all the enemies' buffs, and to be able to use Wound Plus twice in a row, you need to fit in the LD use before that. And you want to use both the Wound Plus when the bosses drop below 50% health. So at this point, as you can see, the bosses are just above 50%, so using LD here is the best time because this attack will bring the bosses below 50% as well as give you 2 consecutive uses of Wound Plus. So at 49%, the bosses will grant themselves buffs and they will also debuff you. The debuffs on your party doesn't matter, but you must dispel the enemy's buffs before they hit 20%, otherwise they will heal 20% of their max HP, and this is where the S1 or the Wound Plus from Serra comes in. So at 19% or below health, the bosses will try to heal themselves, but if you manage to dispel all their buffs, as you can see, instead of healing themselves, they will actually just debuff themselves, allowing you to finally close off the fight before they get another turn. That's it. As always, I hope the video has been helpful, and if you enjoyed the content, do leave a like, comment and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Crystal Mission Quest. Bye!